Welcome, friends. It is Saturday morning, so we're going to do another one of our Saturday morning most viewed recipe videos on the YouTube's video. And today I want to make a peanut butter sheet cake recipe. And there we go. And we'll filter that by view count. And the number one recipe is peanut butter sheet cake recipe, Noreen's Kitchen. So we'll take a look at that. Let's just take a look at some of the other ones. Interesting. So apparently, also 6 years ago, we posted a Texas peanut butter sheet cake. I'd completely forgotten about that. It was quite a while ago. Let's take a look and compare the recipes. Ours is a little bit different than Noreen's. So we're going to make Noreen's, and let's get going. So this is a very easy cake recipe. It would almost fall into the category of a dump cake because you're mixing pretty much everything in this pot and then just dumping it into a jelly roll pan to bake it. Very easy. So started out, I've got butter, water, and peanut butter, and I'm going to put that into a pot and bring it to a boil so that the butter melts together with the peanut butter and everything else. And the first thing I'm going to say about this recipe is I know I'm going to get a different result than Noreen just because of the peanut butter that I use. Julie and I use a peanuts only peanut butter. So the only ingredient is peanuts, roasted peanuts that are ground together to make peanut butter. And I know that most of the peanut butters for sale in the grocery store here in Canada and the United States, sugar is the second ingredient, and then salt. So there's a lot, they are a lot sweeter and a lot saltier than the peanut butter that I'm using here. In fact, when I was at the grocery store the last time to get peanut butter, I looked at all of the different brands. There were some brands where sugar was the number one ingredient, and then peanuts. So those must have been really sweet, which is probably also the way that they could make that peanut butter the cheapest one on the shelf. So into here, there's flour, and I put in salt and baking soda. I didn't change the amount of salt to compensate for the peanut butter. I'm going to see how it tastes. I often like things a little less sweet anyway. So we mix that together, and we're good to go. On to the next step, while we're still waiting for the butter and peanut butter to melt together. I'm going to put together buttermilk, vanilla extract, and the 2 eggs. And we'll just whisk that together. And so here we go. We're just coming up to a boil, so we'll pull that off the stove top. And the first thing in is the sugar, and we'll mix that in, and that will help to drop the temperature a little bit. And once the sugar is mixed in, we'll put in the flour. So this is a little bit lumpy. I'm going to switch to a whisk, which should help it come together faster. And I'm going to pour in the buttermilk and egg mixture at the same time. Looking good. And so the whisk I chose, this is a heavy-duty whisk. You don't want a really lightweight balloon whisk because it's not going to work. Now, I've got a jelly roll pan, 11 by 17, I believe, or 11 by 15, 11 by, it will be on the screen because I don't remember the exact size. Pour this in. Oh my. Yep, okay. I was a little bit worried there that we had too much batter and not enough pan. Now, into the oven. And while the cake is baking, we'll make the icing or frosting, and so that's butter, buttermilk, and peanut butter. And we'll just melt that together, get it all nice and incorporated. And once this comes up to a boil, we take it off the heat. And now we stir in some powdered sugar, icing sugar, depending on where you live, it might be called something differently. And the amounts given are just an approximation. You start out and you put it in, you mix it in, and then you mix in a little bit more and a little bit more until you get it to kind of a spreading consistency, something that you want to put on your cake. And again, I'm going to switch to a whisk to finish this. We also put in a little bit of vanilla at this point as well. Okay, so the icing is looking really good, which is great because there's only a few seconds left on the timer for the cake. And it should go off now. So we'll pull the cake out of the oven. And I'm going to put it on top of a sheet tray. I had a look at the cake a couple minutes ago, just before it was done, and I noticed that it had domed a little bit more than I thought it would, or that I think it should. And I'm afraid that the icing is going to pour off the edges. You want to put the icing on while the cake is hot. The hope is that it will soak in a little bit. So on it goes. And you can spread this on with a spatula or the back of a spoon, however you want. And as I suspected, it did run off the edge. It would have made a horrible mess if I hadn't put the other pan down. I think the problem is my jelly roll pan might not be as large as it needs to be. I've often found that where you think there's supposed to be standards, manufacturers just don't follow them. And I think this pan is maybe just a little bit too small. So I probably won't end up using all of the icing. Now, looks like I've got enough on there. We just let this cool down and set up before we go ahead and eat it.
All right, nice job on this, Glenn.
So this is the most watched peanut butter sheet cake on the YouTubes.
Oh, it looks pretty soft. Like it looks moist.
Yeah, it is really soft, isn't it?
Did you poke holes in it?
No.
At the top? Okay, so there's just a couple.
Yeah.
It was very peanut buttery.
So your aunt served us those peanut butter cookies on the weekend. And all I could think about was peanut butter, peanut butter, peanut butter. All I want is peanut butter. And so I thought peanut butter sheet cake. And what's funny is...
That's a pretty good peanut butter sheet cake. I like peanut butter.
About 5 or 6 recipes down from this one is one of our videos. And what I thought was funny was I don't remember doing it.
We've cooked a lot of food, Glenn.
So I don't remember doing it. And comparing the two recipes, they came out within a couple months of each other. And ours has brown sugar instead of all white sugar, which would change the flavor a little bit. I think this is a brighter...
Yeah, it would be a lighter color.
Yeah, this is a brighter peanut butter flavor than with the brown sugar in it.
Oh, I shouldn't eat anymore. Because I just keep...
And to me, it's the right level of sweetness. I think
it's pretty sweet, though.
It is very sweet.
I wonder what it would be like without the icing, as we always say.
Yeah.
What would it be like without the icing?
It would still be really moist, but I like that. I like that glaze on the top.
You do like the glaze?
I do like that.
I mean, I love the extra sugar, but you know.
Mind you,
you could also put a chocolate glaze on top.
Just that, yeah. You could put it, or you could put the. I'd make it a chocolate
jam
cake,
glaze,
or make it a chocolate cake with the peanut butter glaze.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or you could put a peanut butter
jam,
like a jam glaze.
Jam, that'd be funny. A strawberry jam glaze. With banana pieces.
It's almost a sandwich.
We could call it the Elvis. could call it the Elvis.
I don't think he had jam with his, but yes.
I think that'd be funny. Okay.
You could have a lot of fun with this cake. I think it's a base cake.
So, Noreen has a winner recipe. This is a really good recipe.
Thanks, Noreen.
So thanks, Noreen. And you know, if you've watched our video, please go to her channel and check out her channel and watch hers as well. Full credit.
All right.
Excellent.
In that case,
Chicken marsala. Let's go for dinner.
all right.